The last thing you want to do, because I've seen it happen, is go from burnt out in corporate to a burnt out entrepreneur. All right, so I know like some of the most common feelings we all experience when we're going through that burnout is, one, we're doing so much for this corporate job. We're giving it all we have. We're trying to climb the ladder. We're trying to prove that we belong to be where we are or even higher than where we currently are. And we're not getting that recognition. And that alone causes us to be like, okay, I'm doing a lot. Like, I'm running on a treadmill and I'm not even getting points for it right now. And that can cause a huge amount of anxiety. It can cause a huge amount of frustration, insecurities, and truth be told, it's not fun. It's not something that anyone likes to experience or that anyone actually can just easily overcome. So I'm going to tell you, one thing that I notice is that a lot of people don't really know where that burnout is coming from. Although it may seem like it's coming from work or it may seem like it's coming from home, it may not necessarily be the whole picture of work or the entire picture of home. There may be one thing or one person that's causing that anxiety, that's causing that feeling of burnout. And before we even get into how do we relieve burnout, let's get clear on where the hell the burnout is coming from. Because I can tell you from personal experience, there have been times where I felt like I was burnt out because of work. But really and truly, it wasn't necessarily I was being burnt out because of work. I was being burnt out because I set such a high ceiling for myself on different parts of my life that was causing me to be overworked in my mind, which caused me to feel overworked at work. So I say this to say, get clear exactly on where you may be feeling that burnout, because before you think about relieving it, if you're not even sure where you're feeling burnout or why you're feeling burnout, I promise you the burnout is going to come back. So let's just start there. Now, getting into relieving it, there are so many different things that you can do. I'm going to just tell you the things that I've done personally that actually work. And even if I find myself, because again, I have seen myself be a burnt out entrepreneur, but the difference now is that I actually know how to like pick myself up, control it. I can catch it. I'm very clear on where it's coming from. I have even, just a little tip for those who trying to get into entrepreneurship. There have been times where I have realized that there is a client that is causing that burnout feeling or that feeling of anxiety. I remove that client. I get rid of that client because I'm not going to deal with that. I didn't get into entrepreneurship to be burnt out and to be feeling anxiety. I got into it for the freedom of time, joy, love, peace, me being able to truly control my own life. So I say that to say, now that I can, notice it, I'm able to get clear on it. That's where we need to start. But here are some of the things that I've actually done to relieve that burnout feeling. And I'm going to tell you the things that I've done while I work in corporate. One of the biggest things that I did was I took a break. And I know like some people are like, well, I have tasks to complete at work. I have this team who's depending on me. Baby, you need to depend on you. You need to worry about the tasks that go along with you. Take a break. Step away. Like, that job will be there. That work, that continuous amount of work that you have to do, but it's going to continue to pile up. Take a break. So I had to give this advice to a client. Let's just say you have some PTO time, you got some vacation days. Find a holiday or a time where your job is going to be closed and stack that time up. Like, put it together, line it up perfectly to where you can actually take that time off and really take a break. Get yourself together, because if you're continuing to run on burnout fuel, you ain't gonna do nothing but keep burning out. Like, take a break. Figure out what it is that's going to make you happy. Maybe this is your time to actually get clear on what is causing that burnout, because it won't stop until you actually do that. Now, another thing that I'm big on this actually. I set boundaries, and I give a prime example. I worked for a company called Pote Group, and what I was doing was heavy loaded. It was heavy loaded. I had a huge volume of vendors to pay, And I remember there was a time where someone needed my help on paying their vendors. And I want to set the scene for you all so you can fully understand where I'm coming from with this. I had just had my son. My son might have been 2 months old, if that. I had just had my son. I started to feel like I was going through postpartum depression, and that is legit. And I was burnt out. I was traveling. I'm talking hours in the car just to get to work and get back home. It was a lot for me. And even though, and I'll be honest with you, even though I may have been able to help that person, I worked so hard to get that volume down so that I could not feel so overworked that I told that girl, no, I'm sorry. I cannot help you. I cannot help you because right now I have to help myself. Set boundaries. If you know that you're not able to take on additional work at work, stop saying yes. Tell people no. If people are telling you, hey, can I get you to step away for a second? No, I need to finish this so that I don't feel burnt out and overworked later. Set your boundaries. Be stern on your boundaries. And truth be told, you have to sometimes, because I know it may be your boss that's telling you these things or asking you to do additional tasks. You have to let your boss know, like, hey, you already assigned this task to me, and I want to be able to exceed your expectations on it and make sure that I am meeting the standards of what you are requiring from me. So right now, I think that might be too much on my plate. Let me knock this down a little bit, and then I'll come back to you to see if you still need assistance with it. Word it however you need to word it to where it makes you feel comfortable and you know it's approachable to your boss. But set boundaries and be very stern on those boundaries. Don't waver against what you said. If you already said no, baby, don't come back 2 days later talking about yes. Set your boundaries. The next thing that I would say is to get support. Get support, whether that be from people at your job, your family members, friends, whoever. For me, and for anyone who may be like myself, where we have a really good support system, I struggle with utilizing my support. And that's an even bigger thing because you have people who are there and willing and able to assist you, and you're just not using the assistance. Utilize your support to where it can actually help alleviate stress from you and anxiety off of you without being overbearing on someone else who may actually be there to support you. I say that because I know a lot of women, specifically women, and truth be told, even more men who have a support system and they're just not using it. Utilize your support. As hard as it may be, you will be so surprised at the thing that seems like a huge ask. It's a huge ask for you. You asking that to someone else is not a huge ask. I found myself struggling to ask my parents for help with certain things. And when I talk about it with my mom and dad now, they are like, girl, that ain't phase me, hurt me, anything. Like, utilize your support. And for those of you who don't necessarily have a support system, it's never too late to create a support system. And it may not be your A1 from day one people, but if you got people at work who could help you or who could be your support, you use them. Get that support from them. Your boss is there. Get that support from your boss. I don't care what the situation is. If they want you to do a good job at it, you need to let them know what you need help with so that you're able to do a good job at it. Period. And that's just that on that. One of the other things, and I'm sure I'm gonna actually do a video on this because I have like all types of productivity, time management tips that help me to be able to run two businesses, a home, a child, and some more. Like, I'm able to get it done, and I do not, y'all. I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but your girl is not stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm not burnt out. I have no anxiety. I am so happy, and I have the most on my plate right now. But I feel like it's light. I feel like a feather just flowing and just flowing. Time blocking. Listen, you need to be able to utilize your time a little bit better. I don't know what it is you're doing at work or what it is you're doing at home. Time block whatever it is that you need to do that could actually remove that thought in your mind of, dang, I didn't get this done, or dang, I'm not doing enough. You need to time block that stuff into your schedule so that you can actually get it done and not be so stressed out about it. Because a big part of that burnout feeling is us telling ourselves, like, I really haven't gotten enough done. I really have so much on my plate and I don't have enough time to get it done. It's enough time. We're just not utilizing our time properly. Time block, just to start. There are other methods and things that you can do, but starting off, time block. And don't throw 1,000,010 things on your plate. If you know for a fact that on Tuesdays is your busiest days, those are the days that your kids have sports or dance or music or whatever, and you're working and you low-key may have to cook, baby, you don't need to add anything else to your plate. Just be cool. Time block it for another day, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day works best for you. But I highly recommend time blocking to at least remove that thought in our minds that, hey, I'm not getting enough done. It's not enough time for me to get this stuff done, which I promise a lot. If you are experiencing burnout, I'm almost certain that you've had that thought before, because there was a time where I did too. So I want to point out one of the most important things that you all need to be doing if you are experiencing burnout in corporate, or if you're just burnt out with life in general. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. We have, like I told you all, I had such a high ceiling for myself. We set high expectations for ourselves, and we should. Let's be clear. We should. You should always be reaching for excellency. You should always be reaching for improvement and self-development and all of that. I'm going to tell you though, even more so, you need to be gentle with yourself. When you're on a certain journey, whatever that journey may be, it may be trying to get to a different level in your corporate job. It may be trying to leave your corporate job to go into entrepreneurship, or even trying to scale your small business. You need to give yourself grace. Everything, especially if it's good for you, if it's good for the world, it is not going to be easy. There will be some difficulty that comes with it. God had already told us that. But if you are giving yourself grace and being gentle with how you move about those different journeys, you will find that you can get a lot more accomplished, and you will see a lot more improvements in yourself when you're like, I tried, I'm going to try again tomorrow. Or, dang, I really am exhausted to the point where I can't even give my all to this assignment that I'm working on. I'm about to lay my head down for 30 minutes. I used to beat myself up about taking a nap. Beat myself up. Mind you, as an entrepreneur, I'm working countless hours all throughout the day. I had to learn, like, if I cannot keep my eyes open and I'm half-assing the work that I'm doing, I'm not giving it my all. I'm not doing my best at it. I need to take a minute and step back and maybe take a nap, or step back, go outside and walk, whatever the case may be. I have learned, even on my journey as an entrepreneur, to give myself grace. I would say that is one of the most important things that you can do, no matter what journey you're on, to be able to improve in that journey and exceed in that journey. Give yourself grace. Congratulate yourself when you've accomplished something that you are shocked that you low-key accomplished. Or congratulate yourself when you worked on something for so long and now you're starting to see small strides. It doesn't even have to be the biggest strides. Small strides. Give yourself that pat on the back, like, girl, you doing this? Keep going. I'm not saying take your foot off the pedal. I'm saying push on it a little bit more, but at the same time, like, you did that. Give yourself grace. If you don't feel like you're performing that well, let's figure out why. Don't beat yourself up. Oh, I'm stupid. I ain't no. Give yourself grace. I'm going to do better tomorrow. I'm going to go even harder tomorrow. I'm going to try my best at this, even though it may be difficult for me. Give yourself grace. That may be one of the most important things on a daily basis that I have found that prevents me from experiencing burnout. And I think I probably should have put that as number one. It's all good. I think that may be the one thing that I constantly use that is preventing me from experiencing burnout as an entrepreneur. So if you enjoyed this video, if you felt like you were able to get some tidbits from it or anything, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and I will see you next week.